Hiya, hiya. For those who have noticed, I got rid of the bird and now have an owl. This is that thing is the only wise thing left in the country. Maybe an eagle because they fly so high they get lost. Oh, how's my hair? Oh, well, you know, you get a little heavier when you're having this pandemic. The reason is because my head has so much more information in it from sitting there watching this confusing television where I don't know what I'm supposed to watch. The only reason I have not had more hits on my site, in case you click and see, is because, well, first of all, if I had more hits, they would never let me talk this way. You know, people would then be finding fault with me like they do everything else in this world. But the real reason is that I'm not some mad Italian who's swearing. That usually does it, although I like Mike Marino. But we don't have a lot of attention put on. Is my shirt open? Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to be exposed too much. I'm liable to excite someone in the home. That was like that woman that I went to Ellen Evans' mother's birthday party, 104 years old she was. Problem with her, she liked older men. So here it is. I've been eating a lot and getting more anxious, and the reason is, I mean, I'm down to even putting mayonnaise on an ass. I can't even say it. I'm putting mayonnaise on an aspirin. Like that Liberty commercial. Liberty, that's all, folks. You know, Porky Pig doing that Liberty insurance commercial. Where do these guys get all this money to advertise? I'll tell you where. From us. Geico and Liberty and Progressive, and they're doing all these wonderful commercials all day long, and nobody's left the house. You're going to have to fall down the stairs if you are. Well, I'm in a one-bedroom place, so it's on a level. Well, we do have an upstairs. We do. It's an attic with a very sick person in there. That's my room. So I'll tell you something. This is very difficult right now for everybody, and nobody wants to talk about it. But I told you guys, I hate to be that. I don't hate it. I want to tell you. I was the guy that told you that if you go out and march during this pandemic, you're going to be asking for it. So now it's bounced back, but nobody wants to get on television because it's so touchy. You know, they don't want to get in the way of the black movement and be unpopular and be accused of a lot of things. When actually, you have to walk through your fears. We should be unpopular. The person who runs the show has to be unpopular if it's an unpopular move. You have to say, okay, I'm willing to face my fears and walk through my fears. That's what we're not having in government. You know, they're all trying to be loved and elected. I mean, the way you get elected is by not being loved, but by being respected. Oh, wait a minute. Where does that word come into play? And the way you get respect is by performance, and telling the truth starts with it. If you don't have the truth, you don't have a relationship. And so someone's got to get on the air and say, hey, this is what the ball game is, this is what's happening, and here's what I did that's full of crap. And then you go from there. As long as you begin with the truth. People are really smart when you put us together in a room, but separately we're pretty dumb. Together we're pretty wired to interact and to really think for the other person, but separately they don't go that way. So that's why you have a government with a couple of houses. You know, most of those houses are I don't know. It's a wonder they're still standing with the way they've handled government. But you know, this is politics. You start talking about this, and all of a sudden we're taking phone calls. And I don't know why they take phone calls on the air anyway. Everybody texts. They ought to have text calls. But this is different in this society right now. People are trying to find their way. They're putting on shows without an audience. They're putting on performances from their home. They're having rock and roll in drive-in theaters, which is kind of cool, actually. And someone comes over to your car, and then you catch it. You better wear a mask. There's someone coming over here with the popcorn and the hot dogs, you know. And I don't like the screen. Let's see, it's not close enough. Move that screen closer to me. And I don't like the sound. I want to get it off the speaker. They don't have speakers anymore. You got to do it on your radio. Use your iPad or your iPhone. I this, I that. Everything's got I in front of it. That's the trouble. We're self-centered. That's the I syndrome. This is the I period of our lives. I even did a commercial. There you go again. I did a commercial this morning for Gillette. I've done several Gillette commercials free. And the putts at Procter & Gamble, you would think that they would look at it and say, you know, this guy is really on the right path. A few years back, I did commercials for Cadillac, for General Motors, with an actual, on a lot with people actually buying the car, and I bought one. And you know, that was a reality commercial, but nobody was ready to do it back then. So I'm ahead of time, you know, in my presentation. And so now I'm ahead of time on this one. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen right now. And I'm not Kreskin, I'm not reading minds, and I'm not Lauren Lawrence, I'm not analyzing dreams. I'm simply, and I'm not an astrologer. I'm just another guy that has a full head. I've experienced. So here's how this is going to go. First of all, everybody's got to calm down. And this cop thing is way out of line. If you don't have police, you're not going to have law. If you don't have a law and order, you don't have freedom. You got to have law and order. And the way to have that is to pay the cops. You should pay them more, because they're actually going out when nobody likes them. This would, for me, that would constitute a race. And now, as opposed to a ball game where someone goes out when you love them, when they're winning, and then you give them tons of money just so that they can carry a ball or kick something somewhere or make a basket. This is the only way in life that we reward people. I think you got to reward us for the ones who are doing the real jobs, the ones who are going to the hospitals today, as you know that. You know the first. See, we need first responders, not first offenders. We got it wrong. And if you want to judge somebody by their behavior, like that woman who was Epstein's alleged girlfriend, then put it on Judge Judy and make entertainment out of it where it belongs. And then and keep it off of the mainstream. And the news, if you don't have any news, sign off. If you don't have any news to report, then go home. That's it. I mean, just say it's 6:30. This is the news from Washington. Nothing happened today. So here's Wheel of Fortune, you know, in reruns. The same show for 27 years, you know. I'm telling you, we got it upside down. We do. Or sideways. Anyway, it's a Reynolds wrap.